Okay, so welcome everyone. It's Wednesday. To kick things off today, I have a quote here. This is Carol Dweck. She's a researcher at Stanford, and she wrote a really interesting book a while ago. And here's what she has to say. You try something, it doesn't work, and maybe people even criticize you. In a fixed mindset, you say, I tried this, it's over. In a growth mindset, you look for what you've learned. You don't know what your abilities are until you make a full commitment to developing them. And in many ways, that's what we're doing here at this idea of we are what we repeatedly do. And so the the mindset is one of learning and growth versus performance. And so just to clarify what this means, many of us, I think, are stuck in a performance mindset, which means that we gauge the value of the activity or the behavior based on its outcome, right? So if I'm playing sports, I'm measuring how many goals or how many touchdowns or whatever, it is we scored. That's how I consider this being a good game. On a psychological level, oftentimes, I've noticed when I used to go to playgrounds with my young kids, a lot of parents would say things like, "Oh yeah, he's a really good kid," and really that was code for he behaves or performs in a way that I find satisfying as the parent, right? So it's very ingrained in our mindset in general that we gauge or value uh, experiences based on how they match up with our expectation of what it should be. Now, a growth mindset basically puts, says, I don't really care what the outcome is. What I care about is what is it that I'm learning and what's the opportunity for growth here. And it takes a fair amount of courage to live that way, be it in relationships when we make mistakes and we're trying to make amends. Our ability to go back to that person and say, I learned something about myself and about us, and that didn't feel satisfying, so I'd like to do better next time, or I'd like to do something differently next time. And in essence, growth is also synonymous with learning. And this idea of self-directed neuroplasticity is really just a fancy word or a fancy term for saying that everything that we do is an opportunity for learning and practice. And to remember that our brain learns through repetition. And this, also this idea of deliberate practice, meaning we don't just practice things, because they happen to us. We actually set out, just like we do here, to carve out some time and put some deliberate attention into saying, yeah, this is what's meaningful to me. This is what's important. And I want to sort of, increase the volume of experiences that I have in the realm of mindfulness or loving kindness or gratitude, whatever it might be. That's how our brain basically, forms these new connections. So it's very much a growth mindset. And so I thought today we practice noticing where in our lives, we have this tendency towards focusing on performance, and what would it be like if we could make a little bit of a mindset shift and say, what would it feel like to be in more of a growth mindset? So let's try it out. As usual, these are always experiments and these kinds of practices. So let's start by closing our eyes. And let's settle into here now with a couple breaths together. So deep inhale through the nose, long, slow exhale, really settling into the body, sitting here right now. Then hold the exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale through the nose, slow exhale, and letting go and surrendering into this moment right here and now. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just letting the body breathe on its own. And stepping into our mindfulness, simply observing and noticing the body, mind, and just letting whatever sensations or feelings or thoughts, just letting them be. Just taking a bit of a backseat to just noticing. And then using the mind and attention, see if you can focus on something, so some behavior, some experience that feels important to you that you'd like to get better at. It could be patience, it could be gratitude, it could be equanimity, it could be listening. Doesn't really matter. Don't overthink it. Just sort of pick something where you say, yeah, my life would probably be better if I could improve my skillfulness in that arena. And then notice if there's any sense of dissatisfaction that you have about your ability with that particular skill or behavior. There's any part of you that's critical of, yeah, I'm just not that good at that, or so often fall into the same unsatisfying rut. Just feel into that experience. And then notice how that experience of dissatisfaction or inner criticism is linked to there being a difference between how you think you ought to be able to be or perform this behavior and what frequently happens. In other words, your performance is falling short of what you think it should be. That's usually where the dissatisfaction comes from. We have an idea in mind. I should be able to do this. I should be better at it. I keep trying. Somehow I keep falling short. That's our performance mindset or our fixed mindset. Let's see if we can shift into a growth mindset around this behavior. And maybe ask yourself the question, every time this happens, or the last time it happened, what was there for me to learn? What is it that I need to get square with in order to just do it incrementally better next time? Changes can I make? And see if you can get really curious and really honest with yourself. This is what's holding me back from doing that better. And here's an intention or even a goal that I could set for some changes that I can make in order to improve. It's not about being perfect or even an expert. It's just about incremental improvements and having the courage to acknowledge what's not going well, learn from it, and then try something new the next time. See if you can feel the difference between these two mindsets. And which one is going to be more conducive to you improving over time and actually being able to make meaningful changes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, long exhale through the mouth, relaxing the shoulders, the hands, the belly, and then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale, long, slow exhale. Make it as long and slow as possible. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, open your eyes. Come on back to the session. Yeah, as always, hope that's a useful perspective or maybe an intention to set for the rest of the day. See if you bump into anything where you're like, oh, I keep making that mistake, or I just don't. Even that language, right? Making a mistake somehow implies that there's a way it should have gone but didn't, rather than maybe looking at it through the lens of, okay, that didn't feel satisfying. What about it can I potentially change? So hope that inspires you or is a good intention. And I'll stick around for a few more if anyone wants to chat. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.